Delhi just doesn't have an air pollution problem. It has a land pollution problem too. It produces over 9,500 metric tons of waste every day, and a lot of it goes in the three landfills of Gazipur, Okhla, and Bhalswa. Take for instance the landfill at Gazipur, whose height limit of 15 feet was breached way back in 2002 itself. Yeah, but in the absence of other landfills, it's now over 50 feet tall. It's a hill of trash. Sometimes the news reports even term it as a pollution bomb. Apparently, a small spark, a lit match, or a cigarette stub is enough to make it an inferno of thick, gaseous haze, or well, simply Delhi things. Delhi also has a noise pollution problem, with it being the second worst city in the world in terms of noise pollution. More so, citizens of Delhi had the maximum amount of hearing loss proportionate to their age. And with noise pollution in cities directly linked to 64% of hearing loss, well, you can figure the rest. Pro tip: if you live nearby the ITO intersection of Delhi, you need to get the fuck out of there, for it has noise levels as high as 106 decibels compared to the standard of 55 decibels for residential areas. And you know what else is 106 decibels? This. A lot is being made of the stubble burning by farmers in Punjab and Haryana, and with good reason. Have a look at these images. These are from NASA's Moderate Resolution Imaging Spectroradiometer, better known as MODIS, on board the Aqua satellite. The red dots are instances of fire. It is absolutely clear that there has been a lot of stubble burning in these regions, especially in Punjab. I won't go into too many numbers, but as you can see, the area burning is multiple times the size of Delhi, which is more than enough to make a cancer-stricken Delhi cough its lungs out even further. But here's the thing: amidst a lot of calls of simply banning the stubble burning as directed by the National Green Tribunal, wherein it fines the farmers for not doing so, or as repeatedly advocated by resident simpleton Arvind Kejriwal, seen here preparing to watch an episode of Game of Thrones, it isn't such a simple problem. When you think of a technology created post apocalyptic world, you think of this, or maybe even this. What you don't think of is this. But it is just as much a modern day multifaceted complex a problem as any other. Let's break it down. Take for example Punjab, which has only 1.5% of India's land but produces 20% of its wheat and 12% of its rice among other crops. It's able to do so because, of course, it has highly fertile lands, but also because of crop intensification, meaning a farmer grows multiple crops within the year. Thus, in between the harvest of one crop and the sowing of the next, there's hardly any time. At best, he or she has 15 days. With the advent of modern technology, most farmers use combine harvesters. And the problem with them is that they leave behind a large amount of straw or stubble. Now, in the old days, agricultural laborers used to bend down and cut off the straw completely. But well, those days are gone. And even though we talk a lot about unemployment and jobs, in fact, practically every day in the news media, you just see jobs, jobs, jobs. The reality is there is significant labor scarcity leading to a higher demand of wages. This is where economics comes in. A farmer can either hire labor to manually get rid of the stubble, or hire another machine called rotavator or happy seeder to mulch the residue into soil, both of which are expensive. The alternative is a 1 rupee matchbox. Now, it's not that the straw hasn't got its uses. On the contrary, it has a lot of uses, economically beneficial ones too. But then again, the transportation is expensive. So, well, the farmer burns the thing down. And we enter the apocalypse now territory. Because of the heat, the topsoil loses a lot of its nutrients, resulting in less soil fertility for the next year. The presence of nitrogen, sulfur, potash, and phosphorus in the stem, when burnt, gives rise to poisonous gases. And the sheer tonnage of it wreaks havoc. You probably cannot even enter one of these areas when the parali is being burnt. Not only this, there is a direct economic loss to the tune of hundreds of crores to the farmers, sometimes from uncontrollable fire accidents as well. Moreover, India faces an acute fodder shortage, and yet we burn it all down. Thousands and thousands of metric tons of it. I mean, it's downright insane. Where we could have had employment, economical and environmental gains, we instead have a catastrophe. However, in the absence of proper supply chain management or even some semblance of it, who do you really blame? As it is, the farmers are the most stressed community in the entire nation. Wind! The reasons for the present smog over Delhi are manifold. Anticyclonic conditions which brought dust from Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and Iraq, and particles from the burning of crops in Pakistan, Punjab, and Haryana. Add to that the moisture laden winds from the east, and you have a weird concoction of smog. Again, typical Delhi things. But it's not that this is the first time Delhi people have witnessed air pollution ever. It's now a quintessential Delhi thing, like one's allusion to one's dad or that particular curse word. You know which one I'm talking about. These winds will blow, but the pollutants, they will be there. They are not going anywhere. The best Delhiwalas can hope for right now is that the air quality will go from present severe or emergency to very poor to poor. Almost every day is unhealthy, sometimes moderately so. And good air days are so rare that they are news. It's going to be the same story day after day, year after year, for the emissions are not decreasing. If anything, the emissions are increasing, significantly so. Here, have a look at the constituents of Delhi's air pollution and tell me, which do you see changing? Notice how there is no stubble or crop burning in there. But no, let's blame it all on the farmers of Punjab and Haryana. It's a lot easier, you see, or else we'll have to get down and work. Water! I don't even want to talk about this. It's too depressing. I live on the banks of the river Yamuna. Delhi has barely 2% of its entire length, and yet it contributes 70% of the pollution load. I think statistics such as this don't sink in that easily. You should watch this video from the Guardian.
This is the Wazirabad barrage. This is the Yamuna enter up to this point into the Delhi. On that side, water is clean. Before barrage, water come from the Himalaya region, origin of the Yamuna point.
So it's clean, 400 kilometers, and then
400 kilometers.
And then the next 22 kilometers from here onwards is when it becomes.
Okay. Basically, this is the same water. Okay, before the barrage and after the barrage.
Now take that into context when you read this tweet from the Muffler Man of India, Delhi's very own Chief Minister, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, where he says, Delhi has become a gas chamber. Every year this happens during this part of the year. We have to find a solution to crop burning in adjoining states. Yes, because as we have already established, the only solution that is needed to fix Delhi's pollution problem is related to the crop burning of adjoining states, nothing else. In fact, his recent tweet history is a prime example of classic blame shifting. Varanasi is more polluted, Rajasthan is. Chandigarh had its worst air day. Why is Delhi and specifically Kejriwal being singled out? And I particularly find this one fascinating, in which he shares a scroll.in article about how the union government should bypass the Delhi government and do something about the pollution, in between tweets accusing the union government of bypassing the Delhi government and not letting them function. It is common knowledge that to reduce pollution, we need more public transport system. We need more people traveling in public transport systems. It's very common. And thus, we need more buses. You know how many buses have been added in the last 3 years of this new state government of Delhi? None actually. In fact, the fleet has reduced by 8% while private cars have jumped up by 21%. All hail common sense. Even the odd even scheme, which is being celebrated as the panacea for all pollution problems, isn't really. Indeed, the pollution metrics actually increased when the scheme was implemented. But let's not worry about such details. Farhan Akhtar has praised the move. That should be good enough. In fact, let's export it to other states. Why not? Let's politic, all the while urging other people not to. Here's Mr. Kejriwal doing it over a meeting. Here's Haryana's Chief Minister and the uncle who will not stop telling you the infinite benefits of pranayam, Mr. Manohar Lal Khattar, with a letter asking Mr. Kejriwal not to politic while the very letter itself is full of politics. It takes two to do the tango, you see. Maybe the political parties all across, whether it's BJP or Aam Aadmi Party or the Congress, they are of the impression that the pollution problem can be solved via TV debates. You needn't do anything as long as you appear that you're doing something. After all, it's not an emergency, is it? Except that it is. Right now, Delhi is under Graded Response Action Plan instituted by the EPCA, or the Environment Pollution Prevention and Control Authority, created by an order of the Supreme Court in 1998. It has a series of action plans of what to do when this or that happens. It's a progressive chart. It includes all the actions of the previous stages and then adds on new measures for the present one. Except we are at the last stage. There's nothing further from here. After this, there's nothing. And while the EPCA shouts and bickers, the political elephant moves when it moves. As it is, there is no conclusive proof that air pollution causes any illness. What? You think I'm joking? Well, allow me. In response to a series of parliament questions on health effects of air pollution since 2016, and also in submission to the Supreme Court, the Union Ministry of Environment and Forest and Climate Change has claimed that air pollution is only one among the many factors and its effects are uncertain and inconclusive. It added that there are no peer-reviewed conclusive study report that directly links pollutants to lung cancer and cardiac ailments. Yes, people are only wearing these gas masks because it looks cool. I personally quite enjoyed playing Sub-Zero. Maybe you prefer Bane? As to the studies, there are so many, including some by the government itself. You know, a kid in school doing a SUPW project, whatever the heck that was, will be better able to conclude the link between air pollution and illnesses than our dear government. And even if there is nothing conclusive, maybe there is nothing conclusive, say there was, should we wait till there is?
By your powers combined.
Well, we have a fucked up situation. And not to make it foobar, we need to act. How? In that some question. I don't have answers myself, but I think we need to force the hand of our governments, although that will take some time and doing. Before that, we need to engage. Next time you see something wrong, act. The contractor building your road isn't spraying water leading to road dust? Call your municipal corporation guy. Somebody is burning trash? Stop them. Remember, it contributes 2% to the overall picture of air pollution. Somebody is honking? Tell them not to. I know saying these things feels weird. You appear to be a goody two shoes. Sometimes it even leads to altercations. But the alternative is you going deaf, or worse, dying much before you should have. They should be the ones feeling weird. They should be the ones apologizing. You know, Delhi is a city which I once adored. It's now a living hell. Lonely Planet says of the city as a city where time travel is feasible. Please, please, let's not make it a dystopian one.